Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again with another G.I. Joe action figure review. Today we're looking at the Air-Viper with the Rocket Pack, which was a Target only exclusive from the Rise of Cobra line. It is one of the smaller vehicles in the line. It comes in a nice, cool looking packaging anyways. It's essentially the Cobra jetpack from the vintage line, kind of redone into the new 25th style compatibility mode, or whatever you want to say here. Some nice artwork of the Cobra Air-Viper on the side here. Flipping it over to the back, we've got some of the action features, the file card for the Air-Viper, and just some of the regular G.I. Joe universe kind of stuff that's going on here. So yeah, it's a pretty cool little box set. These things are not very expensive either to come by, so if you're looking to get something interesting, this is one of the ones to pick up. So let's go ahead and see what we got to do to unbox this thing. I guess the easiest way to do this one is to go from the bottom. There's a little piece of tape here, so we're just going to slice that tape open and then just pry this thing out. It should just slide out here, hopefully. Perfect. And nothing else in the box, so we can toss that to the side. Some kind of interesting stuff going on here, but nothing really holding anything in. So we've got the Mars briefcase thing here. And we'll just slide this out. And ooh, look! They actually included a figure stand in this one, so that's awesome. Then over here on the side, we've actually got the instruction sheet, so don't overlook that. Toss that to the back here. This also has the sticker sheet in it, so be careful not to lose that either. And let's see what we got to do to get this thing out. I'll flip it over to the back to see if we've got anything here. It looks like all we've got is just a couple rubber bands holding the figure in. So let's go ahead and cut those apart real quick. And that should pretty much do it. Let's pry this thing out of here. There's the figure with his weapon. We've got these two missiles down here stuck in the side, so you kind of have to beat around the packaging a little bit to get them freed, but they come out pretty easily actually. Then we'll yank on this package a little bit to see what we got to do to get this thing out. There we go. And then the seat pack thing, I guess. The rest of this is just recycling material at that point. We also got a little piece of plastic here holding this thing on. So you'll probably have to move the cannon around a little bit to get this to come off. Looks like it's just kind of stuck in place there. So I'm not going to mess around with it. I'm just going to cut this thing off. It's taped on the back of that thing, so if you can get around to the tape, you can just pull it off pretty easy, but it cuts a lot easier than anything else, so that's why I did that. So yeah, so not a whole lot going on here. Still looks cool, has some missiles. We've got a cool figure in here, and briefcase, and the accessory kit. So let's go ahead and zoom in and take a closer look. We'll start out by taking a look at the little blueprint sheet. Doesn't really have a whole lot here for instructions. It has a sticker placement though for you, so that's really cool. And that's about it. It just kind of has a photo here showing of how the figure fits in. So yeah, not that much going on. The sticker sheet, I'll see if I can get a scan of this for you a little bit up close. Not a whole lot of stickers on this, but they look pretty nice. So yeah, that's the instruction sheet and stickers. We also get in this set a Mars Industries briefcase. So let's see what's in here. Some nice little detail here. It's just made out of cardboard though. Just kind of push it and it opens up and there is nothing inside of it. So this is kind of a toss away thing. It's kind of a cool thing. I know when they first came out with these things, they actually had a little code inside for, I think, the EA game to kind of continue the adventure, but I guess they stopped putting those codes in here a long time ago. So still kind of a nice little accessory kit, but most time I end up just tossing these things because I had a whole bunch of them and they're really not that useful to me, but it still looks cool. The rocket pack itself is pretty straightforward, pretty simple here. Not a whole lot going on to it. Some nice small details here. It is kind of that more maroon color. So, pretty easy to tell apart from the vintage line. Still looks cool though. They did kind of redo the backpack peg here for your figures here. And they've got some new... Nope, they actually left the engraving the same here. So if you take a... If I can get the light to hit that right. It's a 1987 Hasbro copyright on it. So they didn't really bother changing that either. So that's interesting. As far as the assembly process goes, we've got our two little missiles here. Flip it over to the back side here, and you've got these two tabs on either side of the wings. You just line up the little dumbbell tab holes with the tabs and just press down on it and lock them in place. Same thing on the other side. Just line it up and press down on it and they lock in pretty easily. You don't have to worry about them falling off, but they do kind of look cool. Then the only other piece we've got here is the control console. So it's got these two little tab holes on the top. So if you're looking at the front with the cannons, that's where that is. And you just kind of line this up and just snap it in place. Snap and snap, and that's pretty much all you got to do to it, and you're fully assembled. So it then sits flat and these guys can run off with it and fly the friendly skies. So other than that, you've got a elevating cannon here. It doesn't elevate a whole lot, but it does have a little bit of play in it, so kind of nice. But yeah, it's a jetpack more than anything. Not really a whole lot for anything, but still looks cool, so yeah. Moving on to the figure here, we have the Air-Viper. I think it's the Air-Viper. Is that right? Yes, Air-Viper, sorry. Air-Viper, it is essentially supposed to be the Strato-Viper from the vintage line, rebranded as an Air-Viper, so that's kind of why I forget all the time. We do get an awesome little figure stand with this one, which is kind of rare for the Rise of Cobra vehicle line. It's pretty straightforward. It's got this is the dog tag version of the figure stands. You've got the Cobra symbol here on the side, character name on the front, and then that's pretty much it. So pretty straightforward, same as we've got with most of the rest of the movie line figures, so still pretty nice. The accessories we have are this really cool gun here, this assault rifle. I think this was basically the same one they put in with Outback. Some nice detail work on it. Got a nice sling on it, so pretty cool weapon. Then we also have the figure itself. So this is kind of where everything starts shining at. A lot of really nice detail work on this figure. I really do like the actual harness he's got. Some nice details on it. The color scheme they picked for this one works really well. It's kind of a light brown tan kind of color, almost kind of purplish hint to it. And then the red, really awesome helmet. Some really nice details on that thing. The pistol on his side here is non-removable, so that's a sad part, but it still looks nice. It works really well for that. So yeah, it looks like a cool figure here. As far as articulation goes, the head does spin 360 degrees, and we don't really have a whole lot of up and down motion, but there's a little bit there. Traditional ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. Traditional ball and swivel at the elbow joint as well. And then just regular swivel at the wrist. Got the traditional chest articulation there, and has quite a bit of ab crunch feature going on there, so that's really cool. The harness that he's wearing here doesn't impede him whatsoever for that. Standard T-hook at the waist. No limit in motion at all. He's got a double knee joint, and the ball and rocker at the ankle joint, so really cool looking. They did a real good job with this one with the highlights everywhere, so the red, black, gray color scheme just works really well. And all in all, it's a really awesome looking figure. I've always really liked the Stratos Vipers, so just I have to get into the habit of calling them Air Vipers now. So still an awesome figure. Grab this big gun here, stick it in his hands. Well, the handle's a little bit big for the hand itself, so you got to kind of have to work it in here a little bit. Turning it sideways might help. I think my hands are just too big here. There we go. Once you get it in place, it stays without any problem whatsoever. So yeah, really cool looking. And you can also sling the gun around his side here. So yeah, all in all, a pretty awesome figure. Nice accessory. I would say this is an A+ figure. So let's look and see how the figure interacts with the vehicle itself. So if you'll flip this thing over, you'll notice there is that peg hole in the back. So all you really have to do, throw his hands up to get him in place here. And then just kind of slide him in here. You can remove this thing first if you want to. Most time I'll just leave it in place. And you just kind of line up that little peg with the back of his back, and just snapping him in place here. It mostly works pretty well. It helps if you can see a little bit better. I know I'm probably doing a terrible job of showing you all this, but there we go. Got it lined up, and then just press down to peg him in place. Then he can grab onto the handlebars here pretty easily. There we go, snapped in place. And that's pretty much it. Just flies the friendly skies now, so pretty awesome. You can flip this thing around the other way, so it's closer down here with the viewfinder, but if he's flying, you would think he would be looking ahead at the viewpoint. That's kind of why I put it the way I put it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then he just flies around here, so the really only bad thing about it is there's not a good way of doing a standing for takeoff or anything like that. The thing is really heavy, and the fin at the back doesn't really help with anything as far as holding him in place. I guess you can kind of get it to line up And if you use the actual figure stand itself, that probably helps a lot. But it still looks really cool. Got some nice small detail work on it. But yeah, I mean, it's not doing a whole lot. So I don't know really what you all expect, but I mean, it works for what I am looking at. So I guess you just have to make your own mind up on that. But I like it, so it's pretty cool. Again, it's not really, doesn't go for a hefty price or anything like that. It's pretty easy to get a hold of, and it is a cool looking vehicle. So yeah, I would say pick it up if you can get one. The figure itself is worth the price, and then you get the extra accessory of the rocket pack. So yeah, all in all, really cool looking set. That's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of the Cobra Rocket Pack and also the Air-Viper figure. If you would like to see something specific in the future, feel free to let us know that in the comments as well. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw so far. Share it with friends if you'd like. Till next time, Yo Joe.